Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'd like to walk you through another horrifying situation. At approximately 6 p.m. on September 27, 2020, a guy made an emergency service call. The man said that a neighbor woman had run up to his house screaming for help, and Lentine County dispatchers had recorded the call. She stated that she was escaping her spouse, who had just physically assaulted her within the residence. Despite her constant wailing, the woman did not appear to be a victim because she was carrying a gun. When police officers got to the scene, they discovered the husband's attacker still alive and suffering from 2 gunshot wounds in the bedroom. 2 were to the chest and 1 to the leg. The right arm was also lightly hit by the bullet. 4 empty cartridge casings from a .45 caliber handgun were discovered next to the wounded victim, and 2 more bullets were discovered in the wall. After being brought to a nearby hospital, the man passed away from his wounds an hour later. She did not alert law enforcement, despite the fact that police interrogated her and thoroughly investigated the scene of the tragedy. That evening, detectives started looking into her claim of self-defense even though she was not taken into custody. Ashley Benfield was the injured woman, while her husband Douglas Benfield was the deceased man. However, let's investigate the actual course of events that day, and if Ashley may have genuinely rescued herself by shooting her husband. August 2016, sunny Florida is where our story starts. Douglas Benfield and Ashley Buers first connected at a Republican fundraiser in Palm Beach. After supper that night, the man was so taken by the little girl that he asked for her phone number. They started a romantic correspondence. Ashley Buers, 24, was employed at Donald Trump's Sarasota campaign office at the time they first met. Her role involved organizing demonstrations and urging Christians to cast ballots. Ashley was not just involved in politics, but also aspired to be a model and dancer, performing periodically with the Maryland Youth Ballet. But Ashley's aim was to launch her own ballet company and become a well-known ballerina. Ashley was 30 years Ashley's senior. He was a successful consultant for technology corporations and defense contractors, originally from Charleston, and a former Navy pilot. In addition, he owned a restaurant and dealt in real estate. Douglas raised his 15-year-old daughter Eva by himself after becoming a widower approximately a year ago. The love of guns and conservative principles united the adult man with the little girl. Even though they were very different in age, they fell in love right away, and 13 days later they were married. Charleston, Douglas's hometown, hosted a little celebration. The only person invited was Trip Cormany, an ordained Episcopal minister and Douglas's friend. Trip consented to conduct the ceremony even though at the time he wasn't overjoyed and felt that their time together had been too brief. Being a devout follower of religion, Douglas desired to wed Ashley before having a personal relationship with her. The wedding was a surprise for the remaining members of the couple's family and friends. Douglas did not even send his daughter a wedding invitation. At the age of 15, Eva Benfield was still dealing with the trauma of losing her mother. When Eva returned from school 9 months prior, she found her mother Renee's lifeless body. Undiagnosed cardiac ailment was the cause of her death. Eva was taken aback by her father's unexpected union with a girl barely 9 years her senior. Ashley and Eva's relationship did not work out after Ashley moved into Douglas's Charleston home, which led to frequent arguments and family scandals. The intimate father-daughter bond was severely strained by Douglas's new spouse. Ashley didn't want to be her husband's daughter's friend or stepmother. Eva, however, believed that she was only losing her father. Douglas pledged to fulfill his wife Ashley Benfield's ambition of starting a ballet company that would feature dancers of different ethnicities and shapes. He looked up to his new bride. Ashley was always getting romantic dates and surprises planned by Douglas, who also gave her flowers and complimented her on her appearance. Ashley was like a swan, short, graceful, and tall, and she genuinely endeared herself to everyone she met. Her generosity glowed in her blue eyes. Her long brown hair provided glitz and beauty, resembling a bird's plumage. Douglas was willing to go to any lengths for Ashley, since he saw only spiritual purity in her. Her desire quickly came true. Ashley's love of ballet and Douglas's financial acumen came together to form the American National Ballet in Charleston, where they advertised to cast ballet artists from throughout the nation. Managing a for-profit school and a non-profit ballet company was the aim. Ashley and Douglas started holding the initial auditions in the summer of 2017, but Ashley was contemplating a pregnancy and dreamed of being a mother in addition to founding a dance company. This is precisely what transpired during the ballet company's formation. About 40 dancers from all over the world started coming to Charleston in the late summer of 2017 to train with Ashley, but she never showed up for another audition. Douglas took full responsibility for the task. Although Ashley was the one who many dancers were waiting for, Douglas engaged ballet master Michael Wise to coach the dancers. She was pregnant, though, and she had no intention of taking ballet anytime soon because of a significant condition. Ashley and Ava were becoming more and more tense, but Douglas persisted in supporting his wife in her goal of founding a dance company in Charleston with a distinct purpose. With the assistance of hired managers and choreographers, the man, who was not very familiar with ballet, attempted to manage the company on his own. However, the company soon found itself in legal hot water when dancers and choreographers sued the couple, accusing them of breaching their contract and claiming they were fired only weeks after being hired. Douglas hired new administrators when Ashley left in an attempt to revive the ballet, but they made significant adjustments, and Ashley's initial plan to include dancers from various ethnic backgrounds did not work out. Ashley and Eva's growing tension went unnoticed by Douglas, since he was too focused on the ballet. Douglas lost it one day after Ashley and him got into an argument about Eva, and he pulled a gun and shot the ceiling of their house. People who knew him said it was out of character for the composed, non-aggressive Douglas. While Douglas was still working to establish the work of the ballet in Charleston, Ashley returned to her mother in Florida in late August, reporting a difficult pregnancy. A group of dancers was summoned to a meeting on October 23, 2017, told to sign non-disclosure agreements, and then fired. Ashley publicly criticized Douglas and the rest of the corporation on the internet. "The new management has destroyed everything we've worked so hard for, and I cannot stand behind them or their actions," she stated. A&B should have set a new benchmark for how it handles its dancers, since it was founded to be unlike any other dance company. The way it was handled should make everyone concerned feel ashamed. It was like a brilliant notion that had vanished like smoke. The American National Ballet was permanently shut down a few months later. By the time the ballet lawsuit ended, Douglas had lost more than $100,000. It was the end of his ballet nightmare. Douglas had worked closely with many dancers for a long time, so he planned a farewell party for A&B. But instead of his expectant wife, he found a farewell message waiting for him when he got home. Ashley detailed every flaw of Douglas in a 4-page letter, characterizing his treatment of her as domineering and compulsive. She wrote that she was forced to leave him because of her concern for her life and the safety of her unborn child following the event in which he shot a gun into the ceiling. Though Ashley's note was just the beginning, as it would later turn out, his heart was devastated. Douglas suffered a setback from the woman who held great significance for him, which made the months that followed even more trying for him. With hopes of mending, Douglas gave Ashley a birthday present in late November 2017. He knew his wife was a huge tea lover. Along with a specialty tea meant for expectant mothers, he purchased a gorgeous teapot, cups, and saucers. Ashley took the present, but she would not stand for it. Rather, she brought several accusations against Douglas. One of them involved contaminating her tea. After looking over her assertions, nothing was discovered to support such serious allegations. Ashley, however, did not stop there. In order to find out if she had been poisoned, she sent a sample of her hair to a different lab. According to the report, her hair had higher than normal concentrations of zinc, aluminum, and other elements. Ashley checked herself into a hospital 3 weeks prior to giving birth, all without informing Douglas. She was at the hospital, Tampa General. Fearing for her life, the woman stated that her husband had poisoned her. exposing the unborn child to heavy metals throughout pregnancy. Ashley continued by accusing Douglas of physical abuse in the absence of proof. She further said that, despite Douglas's hundreds of miles away, he kept her a prisoner at his Charleston house. She continued to insist that he was following her around, beginning in Florida. Since there was no way to verify the information Ashley had given hospital workers, management changed Ashley's identity to Christina in order to ensure her safety. Doctors performed a C-section 3 days later. Despite the newborn girl's health, Ashley was concerned that her child had been poisoned. But Douglas was not about to give up. He begged Ashley to change her mind by sending her text after text. Ultimately, he thought he still had a faithful, happy, and flawless family, but it had broken down in the most dubious way. Ashley was not in a happy and fabulous place, and things were about to change.